Morning, everyone. Shavua Tov. We are on page Samech Bet and Aleph 62a, and we are already a few lines down. We are 9 lines down. Rabbi Chama. Last one on the line is Chama.
Not quite.
Rabbi Chama bar Rabbi Chanina. Ikla lehu atra. He went to a city. Bizman shukpilu rova mekutzaot. At a time when a majority of the knives were put away. This is referring to continuing our Gemara. Last time the special knives that were used to cut figs and make fig cakes with it. And cakes mean not like cake where you're baking with wheat and stuff like that, but it means just figs. They would have like these blocks of just figs. And the knives were put away, meaning they were done the fig season. And we said before that when you're done the fig season, then you could go and take, if there's any leftover figs, it's not considered stealing, and you don't take off maaser because it's hefker. It's like, okay, whatever, it's done for the season. So whatever little figs I couldn't reach or whatever it is, it's going to eventually spoil till the next season. So for the owner doesn't mind generally. Havaka achil, so he was eating such figs from such a tree that was already past this date. Yahiv lisham'eh, he gave to his eved, he gave to his servant. Lo achil, he didn't eat. He had a servant that was a tzaddik. Amar le echol, he said eat. He told him eat. Kach amar li Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yossi, mishum aviv. This is what Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yossi told me in the name of his father. Hukpelu rov mekutzaot, the majority of the knives were put away. Mutarot mishum gezel upturot min maaser. You're allowed because of it's not considered stealing. It's already and it's patur from maaser because it's already hefker. So go ahead, eat. Okay. Next Gemara. Rabbi Tarfon. Ashkeche hahu gavra. A man found him, and this man was seems like some sort of security guard over a field. Bizman shukpelu hamekutzaot de'achil. A man found him at a time when the fig knives were put away, that he was eating figs. Achte bisaka. He put him in a sack. He caught Rabbi Tarfon, but Rabbi Tarfon was doing nothing wrong. But he put him in a sack, v'shakle, and he grabbed him, v'amtayeh, and he carried him, l'mishteyeh b'nahara, to throw him in a river. He wanted to kill him. Amar, he said, this guy's a robber. Amar, and if you look at the Bach, so it takes away the word lo. Amar, oy lo letarfon, shezeh horgo. So Rabbi Tarfon said, woe to Tarfon, that this guy's going to kill me. He's talking to himself, but he's talking out loud. Shamahu Gavra, that man heard. He heard that it was Rabbi Tarfon. He didn't realize, oh my gosh, I got Rabbi Tarfon over here in the bag.
We were still planning on taking someone and throwing him to the river. Because it's Rabbi Tarfon, it's like, but you can't do it to any person, no?
I know, obviously, but now he's the rabbi, he thinks it's a robber, maybe a non-Jewish guy, I don't know, whatever, but he, he hears that it's Rabbi Tarfon, Shavke ve'arak. He dropped him and he ran away. That's the story. Rabbi Tarfon was therefore saved. But Amar Rabbi Avahu, Mishum Rabbi Chananya ben Gamliel. Rabbi Avahu says in the name of Rabbi Chananya ben Gamliel, Kol Yamav Shalotot Tzaddik, all the days of that tzaddik, Rabbi Tarfon, Hayam Mitztayer al Davar Zeh. He was in pain over the story. So you might think he was in pain, that he was about to get killed. So he was he had trauma from it. Rather, what was his pain? Amar oy li shenishtamashti v'kitra shel Torah. Woe to me that I used the crown of Torah. Meaning, he used the fact that he's a rabbi to save himself. So he used the Torah, the crown of Torah. Not intentionally, but that's what he said, and so he's using the crown of Torah for his own benefit, and he used the rabbi card. Like, but if he didn't, he didn't say, hey, but he said, woe to Tarfon that, and hey, oh my gosh, and he dropped him, he left, and he was in pain that he used that the fact that he's a rabbi, the fact that he's a Talmid Chacham to save himself.
He likes to war himself.
Huh?
He likes to war himself.
Yeah. So says the Gemara. Yeah, that's like the Ran says. He only let him go because of his Torah. That's, So the Gemara continues. Second line down, the middle-sized wide lines. Ve'amar Rabbah bar Chana, Amar Rav Yochanan. Rabbah bar Chana says the name of Rav Yochanan. Kol hamishtamesh bekitra shel Torah ne'akar min ha'olam. Anyone that uses the crown of Torah is uprooted from the world. Kal v'chomer. And we learn this from a Kal v'chomer. Kal v'chomer, is light and heavy. That, if a 6-year-old could lift this chair, all the more so a strong 20-year-old could lift the chair. Kal v'chomer. What's the Kal v'chomer? Uma bal shatzar shenishtamesh b'kli kodesh shena'asu chol, shena'asu kli chol, shena'asu chol. The Bach takes out the word kli. What's going on over here? The story of Belshazzar, who was after Nebuchadnezzar. This is the generation before Achashverosh, and Achashverosh also made the same mistake as Belshazzar. So the next Chag is Purim, so we're getting a little bit of a little Purim Torah over here. So Belshazzar, it was at the time of the destruction it was after the destruction of the first Beit HaMikdash, and this is the story of Daniel. Daniel happened in Bavel, and he throws a party, I think also for the calculation of the Jews that they're going to be gone. He takes out the kelim of the Beit HaMikdash. He takes out the kelim of the Beit HaMikdash and he uses them. And then, that's the famous story of Daniel, where they have Rembrandt's painting, one of the famous Rembrandt painting, where a hand comes out, all of a sudden at the Seudah, this is in Sefer Daniel, Seudah, at Belshazzar's Seudah, that he's using the kelim of the Beit HaMikdash, a random hand comes out and writes some things on the wall, in Hebrew, whatever, and everyone's like, whoa, what's going on over here? And no one could know what that says. And they call different wise people, no one knows. Then Daniel comes, they call Daniel, and he says, sorry, Belshazzar, you're going to die tonight. Like, what? And that's the famous story of Achilles' heel, or there's a gift offered. What's this called? A gift was offered to Belshazzar that night. They opened the gates, and this big statue of a gift was offered to him. It came in, but really it was soldiers hiding inside the statue, and they broke through and they came in and they infiltrated and they killed Belshazzar. What's that called? That's called a Trojan's horse. Trojan's horse was that story, and because there was a big horse offered to them.
But it's not the Trojan one. Trojan, it's not.
It wasn't the Trojan one, or from the story.
Trojan is from north, west of
Italy.
Turkey.
I think that was the story that they got this concept from, where they hid inside the thing.
Yeah, the concept is the same.
And so Belshazzar, he used. So the Gemara says, "What's the Kal Vachomer?" Belshazzar used the kelim of Kodesh that was already chol. Meaning, what was it? Why was it already chol? Because manishma, boker tov, bechavod, Rav Snir. So we're learning about not using the Torah in the wrong way. Basically, Belshazzar, one of the bad kings that used the kelim of the Beit HaMikdash for his own benefit, and when it was already chol, meaning it was already not kadosh anymore because the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, and there was, it seems like once it was used for its own thing, it was chol, and nevertheless, he died that night. It was still considered That's what
So the
pasuk
reason
says.
was because he took the kalim. That was
Yeah.
the reason why he died.
Yeah, and he used the kelim for his own thing. Shenishtamesh b'kli kodesh. Shenemar ubau ba peritzim v'chileluha. The pasuk says that the peritzim people came, that the poretz get, that they broke in. People came and broke in, and chilelua, and sorry, this is talking about the Belshazzar and his people. They were poretz. They took these kelim outside of its kedusha, the chilelua. They made it chol. Kevan shepirtzum nasu chol. Since he was poretz, he took it out of its kadosh state. He made it chol, the kelim of the Beit Hamikdash. Ne'ekar min ha'olam. He was uprooted from the world. Where do we know that? Dichtiv ba b'lilia katil Belshazzar. On that night, Belshazzar got killed.
What is uprooted? I mean, I understand it means killed, but like his generations continued, right? Like his family was not uprooted at all, like not totally.
Maybe uprooted
Maybe it's
is
my
like
English. Like,
yeah, no, you're right. Why ne'ekar, not met or killed? Ne'erak.
It also can mean like not actually killed, but like you lost. You know, when you say I'm lost, I don't know where I am. It doesn't mean that
Ne'ekar.
you cease from
he was
existing.
gone.
Yeah, here he was killed, but he was also, I think, because he was like a king at the time, and ne'ekar is not. You're not just killed. You're totally, your whole thing's uprooted. Your whole kingdom's uprooted. You're gone. You're just from here to there in a second.
Yeah,
Like you're
it continued. That's the question. Because it went on with
to Achashverosh and the next one. It was his.
Is it another?
granddaughter? It was his like the daughter. I think that
He's the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar.
he's the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
says.
and I think it was his daughter or granddaughter that was Vashti. It was
Ahasuerus was not his own kingdom.
No,
yeah,
that was a known
he
story.
was a general and married to Vashti.
No, he was a really
That's how he became,
horseman, a horse guy in the stable. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's uprooted.
Yeah. So the Gemara says, "Ishtamesh." So now, what's the kavachomer? If Belshazzar got killed for using the kelim of the Beit Hamikdash that already became chol because the Beit Hamikdash was destroyed, Ishtamesh bekitra shel Torah shehu chai v'kayam leolam. If a person uses the keter of Torah, he uses the crown of Torah, he uses Torah for his own benefit, which the Torah is alive forever. Alachat kama v'kama. All the more so, there's going to be some sort of punishment, some sort of issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
So the Gemara says, Rabbi Tarfon, back to the story, because and we said, just to fill Sneer in quickly, the story was Rabbi Tarfon was eating figs from a time where people generally allow others to eat figs. But there was a guard that saw him. He didn't know it was Rabbi Tarfon. He put him in a bag and he wanted to throw him in the river to kill him. He's like this guy, like a security guard. And then Rabbi Tarfon says, woe to Rabbi Tarfon that he's going to get killed. The security guy says, oh my gosh, this is the rabbi? He dropped him and he ran away. And Rabbi Tarfon was very sad that afterwards that he used the Torah, he used that he's a rabbi to save himself. So that was his. So the Gemara says, Rabbi Tarfon, Kevan de ki achil, de hukpilu rova mekutzaot. Rabbi Tarfon, that he ate after a time where majority of the knives were put away, the knives for the figs, as we mentioned, so that was allowed. It was at that time. First of all, why did the security guard, the question the Gemara is asking, why did the security guard take him?
Yeah.
It was at a time where it was everybody was done the fig season. Answers the Gemara. There was a story going on over there. The story was Mishum Deahu. In that time, that field, Havugan vile anvi kula shata. People were stealing grapes the entire year, and he wasn't able to catch them. Vekevan de ashkechel Rabbi Tarfon. Since he found Rabbi Tarfon over there eating the figs, Savar Hainu de Ganvan. He thought he was the robber of the grapes the whole season. He's like, oh my gosh, I finally caught the guy. That's what it was. Meaning now he's eating figs that are allowed, fine, but this is the guy, he always enters the field, and this is for sure the guy. Yachi, if so, amai tzier nafsheh. If so, why was Rabbi Tarfon upset? Like, why was he upset when we said that Rabbi Tarfon was very upset? He used the keter of Torah to save himself. But what was the issue? Now the Ran explains. The Ran explains. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at the Ran over here on the left side. Ihachi, the bigger one of the Ran, it's about 6 lines down in the thin lines. Ihachi Ritafon, I might see nafshe. Why was he upset that he used the Keter of Torah? But the Ran's going to explain this question further. I amrat bishlama de lohava kapid hu gavra elahi shata. משומחי, הווה מצטער, איך להודיעו בזמן שהוקפלו רוב מקוצאות, הפקרנינו. Meaning, the guy, now we're looking at the story. So Rabbi Tarfon is caught. Now, Rabbi Tarfon doesn't know the story of the grapes, that all year someone was stealing. So, in his mind, maybe it could have been that, hey, you took me, but I'm allowed to eat figs right now. So, he could have said something. Hey, I'm eating figs, and what's the issue? And if, let's say, the security guard wouldn't have listened to him, he should have offered to pay. He should have reacted. He reacted. Rabbi Tarfon reacted. What was his reaction? What was Rabbi Tarfon? He's going to die. He heard it. He let him go. But if he reacted, he could have reacted in a different way. Number one is, hey, I'll pay you for the figs. The figs are allowed. I'll pay you for that little bit of figs. And now, if the guy would have said, what do you mean? You've been stealing grapes all year. Why should he have done this to Rabbi Tarfon? Was Rabbi Tarfon expected to pay everything that he's not obligated for? Was he now expected to pay an exorbitant amount for all those? So he would have said, "What do you mean? It's not me that stole all your grapes." So the guy's not going to believe him still. He said, "I don't care. It is you." So now is Rabbi Tarfon. So now Rabbi Tarfon is an option. Now, let's say he says, now he says, "Oh, woe to Rabbi Tarfon, is going to get killed." So then he gets saved. Then he drops and he runs. Now Rabbi Tarfon's bothered by that. But Rabbi Tarfon, why are you bothered by that? Are you were expecting to pay the whole year's worth of grapes? So now he's asking, why is Rabbi Tarfon upset? So the Ran's explaining, why is Rabbi Tarfon upset? On the one hand, Rabbi Tarfon could have expressed, hey, here's a few dollars for the figs I ate. And if that would have been the end of the story, that could have been the end of the story. So it's understood that, maybe Rabbi Tarfon's upset he didn't offer that, and he rather said, oh, woe to Rabbi Tarfon, he used the Keter of Torah. But if the story was, as the Gemara says, that there was a whole thing of a big robbery of tons of grapes over the whole year, and Rabbi Tarfon would have said, hey, it's fig season, I'm allowed. He said, no, what do you mean? You stole the grapes all this eat the whole year. Rabbi Tarfon's now going to have to pay all those grapes to offer that. That's no one's going to offer that. I'll pay you. Okay, let go of me. I'll give you $10,000 for all the grapes I ate all year. No one's gonna do that. So using the Keter of Torah was okay. What's the issue?
I thought that the Torah teaches us to value life over death.
Yeah.
Why would the rabbi be upset for using the Torah to save his life?
Right. So that's
The Gemara says the same thing.
So that's the Gemara's question. That's really the Gemara's question. Because what's happening now is with the Gemara's question, as the Ran explains, is Rabbi Tarfon had a way out. What was his way out? So
He was allowed to use his name.
He was so on the one hand, offer to pay a small amount, right? So then you didn't offer to pay a small amount. So therefore, yeah, have tsar that you use the Torah's weight. The Torah's you could have offered a small amount. But if the case is that there's this whole thing of grapes that were stolen, so Rabbi Tarfon, what are you upset? Why are you upset with yourself? Did you expect yourself to pay all that money for the grapes? So you use the Keter of Torah. That's fine. You have to save yourself. What's the issue over here? So I'm going to go to the answer now. Back to the Gemara. Mishum de Rabbi Tarfon Ashir Gadol Hava. Rabbi Tarfon was a very rich person. And he should have offered the money. Meaning, now Rabbi Tarfon, if let's say he would have had a dialogue, the guy said, "What do you mean you stole grapes the whole year? It's $10,000 worth. You stole so much." Now Rabbi Tarfon has two options. I could pay, even though I'm not really obligated to, or I could use the Keter of Torah. And even though he's not obligated to, but he was a very rich guy. $10,000 would have been nothing for him. And therefore, he should have, and that's why he was in Tsar, he should have said, I should have just paid him. And then I would have got away from this whole thing. But I used my name, and that's why he was in pain. That's the Gemara
But
concludes.
what doesn't make sense to me is how can he think about it because he doesn't know the situation.
Right.
The owner ran away.
That's even more. That's even
No,
worse.
like,
because
in
he
this-
should have said something. Let
no,
me pay you.
No. In this case, he was in the sack. He used his name. He got away, yes, but he doesn't know necessarily that these guys' grapes were stolen because the guy ran
I know, but
away.
the first thing he should have said is, "Let me pay you."
Yeah.
This,
No, I understand,
This should
I
have gone
understand.
through his mind. Even that's the first.
But the rest of
first
the
thing
conversation
for sure.
is
No, the first thing for sure. If you would have only thought it's figs, it's $10. Whatever,
it's
small
nothing.
amount. So you should have said the first thing. Hey, I'm sorry. Let me pay you. And then if the guy would have said, "Oh, it's grapes, 10,000," I'll still pay you. That's why he was in Tsar. He's like, I have so much money. I use my name. There's so many other options. That's why he was in Tsar.
He chose the shortcut.
He chose a shortcut to save himself all the way. Yeah, so that's the
That
was
was
the
not
issue.
intentional, no. You just
Well,
saying way to
Again,
that's why they say. Right?
that's why he's
So,
Rabbi Tarfon.
as
and
you
not
said,
Nissim.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why he was upset because only because of his Torah did the guy let him go, and because that's the only dialogue, and he should have offered the money. Okay, now we are going to talk about maybe a little bit tomorrow. We're not going to end here, but we'll that there are times that you're allowed to say like Talmidei Chachamim didn't have to pay certain taxes. So can a person go forward and say, I'm a Talmid Chacham, right? So he was allowed to do that. So we're even using the Keter of Torah. So there's how does that work exactly? So we're going to get into some of those.
You also have
some of those
to
things.
let them pass if there's a line and there's
Yeah, exactly.
you have to let them pass
So-
because bitul Torah
Bitul
you're
Torah.
causing them to delay their learning, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you can't say that, or you could say that. So, but that's the thing. It seems like if you had another option, that's where Rabbi Tarfon was, he was bothered by. He had another option. They could have offered money, and then that was his issue. Okay, let's go back to the Gemara. Tanya says the Braita. Le'avat Hashem Elokecha, lishmo bekolo uledovka bo. This is a pasuk in Sefer Devarim, Perek Lamed. We have to love Hashem. We have to listen to His voice, and we have to cling to Him. Shelo yomar Adam ekra shikrauni chacham. A person should not say, "I'm going to learn so that people should call me a chacham." Eshne shikrauni rabbi. I'm going to learn Mishnayot so they should call me a rabbi. Eshne sheyeh zaken ve'eshev be'yeshiva. I'm going to learn Mishnayot so I should be like a zaken. So zaken is zeh shekana chokhmah, not necessarily an old person, but a zeh shekana chokhmah. Huh?
Elder.
Not necessarily an elder. Zaken means an elder.
No,
But
no,
zaken
like,
means like
elder of Zion.
elder of Torah, yeah. And I'm going to be sitting in a yeshiva, like in a respectable place. Ela lemod me'ahava. Learn from love. Learn because of Hashem commanded me to. V'sofa kavod yavo, and the kavod will come. Don't say I'm going to do this for kavod. Don't worry about the kavod. Kavod will come, but learn for the right reason. Shneimar, kishram al etzbeotecha, katvam al luach libecha. As the pasuk says, tie the Torah to your fingers and write them on the luach of your heart. Write them on your heart. And then the Gemara says, "Ve'omer deracha derche noam," and the Torah, and it says about the Torah, the ways of the Torah are sweet. Ve'omer etz chaim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomcha me'ushar. The Torah is a tree of life for those that hang on to it, and those that support it will be happy. And those that support it is referring to is donators, but also you're going to be happy. There's happiness at the end. You're going to go for you want to go for kavod. That's not the proper way. Go for lishma, luach libecha. You're doing it for Hashem, and don't worry. The ways are sweet, and you're going to be happy. You're going to get that kavod at the end. Let's look at the run. Kishram al itzbeotecha, klomar lo techaven lehanatcha ela kedei shiyu shigurim beficha. Don't have intention for your own benefit, but rather so that the Torah should be in your mouth. It should be very accessible in your mouth. Ve'osif al zeh ve'amar ednam al gargerotecha ve'achar kach hevi raya shesof hakavod avo shenemar deracha derche noam ve'omer tomcha me'ushar. That's the proof of sof hakavod avo, is that the derech is a sweet way, and those that support it are going to be happy. I wanted to go further today, but let's pause here and we'll continue tomorrow. We're in the thick of the subject of using the Torah for the wrong purposes and to use it only for the right purposes. And I brought here the Rambam,
I don't understand.
the famous Rambam over here. We'll discuss it tomorrow. We'll stop over here and we'll continue tomorrow night. B'ezrat Hashem.
Ask a question, but like more general.
Yeah.
So here,
Shacharit, yeah?
yeah. One very quick question, like because this is a personal thing.
I'm recording. Turn off the personal thing? Yeah, okay. Sorry.